Time is a currency that cannot be accumulated, cannot be saved. It flows incessantly, like a river that never returns to its source. With every second that passes, a portion of life slips away, and tomorrow approaches, merciless and inevitable. For some, the feeling is that time is always present, but for others, the clock is counting down. What would you do if you knew your time was running out? What if today was the day everything would change forever? John was an ordinary man, living an ordinary life. He worked from 9 to 5, faced daily traffic, and spent his evenings watching television and scrolling social media. The days seemed to drag by, but at the same time the years flew by. His youthful dreams had been shelved, replaced by a comfortable but empty routine. One morning, Joan woke up with a different feeling. He looked in the mirror and saw something he had never noticed before. His eyes were more tired, his hair was thinner, his hands were marked by time. At that moment, a voice echoed in his mind. Time is running out. Scared, Joan tried to ignore the sensation, but it accompanied him with every step, with every movement. At work, he felt that time passed faster than ever, as if hours were seconds. On the way home, sunset seemed to approach with unsettling rapidity. At home, instead of turning on the television, he sat in silence, watching the clock hands go around and around. That night, he had a vivid dream. I was in a room full of clocks, all showing different times, but all counting down to 0. In the center of the room, a large clock with the name João engraved on it. There were only 24 hours left. When I woke up, panic took over. I knew that dream was a warning, a last chance to change something, to make a difference. But what could he do in just one day? João spent the first hours of the day in a frantic search for meaning. He called old friends, visited his parents, and even tried to revive an old project he had never completed. But time seemed to slip through his fingers. Nothing seemed enough. As the day drew to a close, John finally understood. It wasn't about what he could do in 24 hours, but rather about what he hadn't done in the last 20 years. With this realization, a strange calm enveloped him. He looked at the clock once again and decided not to fight time, but to accept its natural course. That night, before going to sleep, he wrote a letter to himself. Live every day as if it were your last, because one day you will be right. And so he fell asleep, not knowing what tomorrow would bring, but with the certainty that as long as he had time, he would use it to the best of his ability. Possible. This story reflects on the urgency of time and the importance of valuing each moment, bringing a message about the need to live fully.